welcome to Hot News. We are live on Pan-African Television. We are also live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are live on YouTube also at Pan-African Television. The program is very interactive. You can send your views, comments, and contributions on our WhatsApp / text line on 026084 6539 026084 6539. You can as well leave your comments, suggestions, questions, and whatnot on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. We'll make a time and read all those out for you. My name is Justice Appiah, and tonight on Hot News, we are having a one-on-one conversation with Member of Parliament for Nabdan, in person of Dr. Market Nawani. What are we talking about? We'll be looking at why he is seeking for re-election. One, we'll also be looking at things he has done for the people of Nabdan, that he wants the people to give him the mandate once again. And then also we'll be looking at the health policies of the National Democratic Congress ahead of the 2020 elections. You know, he's a medical practitioner and he's also in Parliament. I think he's part of the committee on health and all of that in Parliament. And so we'll look at their manifesto and what it's actually saying when it comes to issues related to health and all of that. And so let me welcome Doc. Doc, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Hot News.
And thanks for hosting me this evening.
It's been a while we've seen you.
Yes.
Where have you been?
We're in the constituency, working very hard to ensure that our rescue mission of our dear country comes to pass, and that come December 7th, Ghana will be once again rescued to start on a clean note. What's the response of your constituents since you've been in the constituency for quite some time now? Well, so far so good. My constituents understand the dynamics of the current politics. They understand how the MPP came to power through the power of lies, and they know that we are working very hard to ensure that we are able to rescue our country and rescue Nabdam as well.
All right, thank you so much, Doc. I'll come back to you for us to delve into the discussion properly. But let's briefly go and watch, a video put together about some of the things he has done within the constituency, things that are already, on course, and what he's been doing for the people of Nabdan. Let's go and watch that video. We'll be right back. It's a 17 minutes video. Let's watch. We'll be right back for the discussion to continue.
With all frustrations that he gets, probably even from the assemblies, he will still persist that he has to work for the good of the people of Nabdan, because the clarion call.
Honorable Dr. Market Nawani has since been working so hard not to let his people down. He has worked in many different committees in Parliament, including the Committee of Environment, Science and Technology, the Health Committee, and many others.
Dr. Nawani is a humble man, very gentle, someone so approachable. He dines with everyone. He comes with his own resources to pre-finance projects. With all frustrations that he gets, probably even from the assemblies, he will still persist that he has to work for the good of the people of Nabdan, because the clarion call that he came and gave was that it is because of the development of Nabdan. That is why he left Dunkwa and came home.
He's exceptional in terms of listening to advice from Nabdan. And therefore, whether the aged, the women, the youth, the men, they have certified with the work so far.
Dr. Nawani is somebody I don't think I can describe him. He's a developer. When he came, he wasn't having anything. He wasn't like having a common fund that you say it is the common fund that he was using, but he was using his own money and then doing wonderful things.
Nawani indeed has distinguished himself as a very good MP. This is an MP whose party is in opposition, yet he's able to mobilize the little resources he can get to do what he is doing for the community.
I think we're blessed to have somebody like Dr. Nawani, who's a caring and listening MP, who's always ready to help us in terms of our needs. He's easily approachable, and somebody that, if approachable,
delivering committee's report or lobbying for the development of his constituents.
Honourable Minister, from your answer, it appears that we don't know actually when NABDANs are going to get district hospital services. I'm a medical practitioner myself. I've used my common fund to build a ward and a theatre before we can provide district hospital services.
Mr. Speaker, I already said that we have actually captured NABDAM in our 4-year capital investment plan. So at West, within the 4 years, NABDAM will see a district hospital. But I would like to congratulate you for putting some part of your MPs, little monies you have to try to do something in the facility.
Just a few months away from another round of elections, many lips, far and near, within the NABDAM constituency are begging for answers from the Honourable MP, what he has been able to bring on board as far as the development of the area is concerned.
When lorries could not move from Barga to Pelungu through the Yakuti road, he came and said, look, what is the problem? They explained to him that a bridge or a culvert has broken down, and so trucks cannot pass the Isawa. If that is the case, they should make the estimate for him. They went and made the estimates at the highways, and they gave him the drawings and whatnot, and he went ahead, used his own money, and had it fixed.
But see that Tamana Moti Katipa go Kayati auto number 4, Lamaka auto. Zangabala Zung Sozan Tobit Angala. Dr. Yang Baka Bakang Shitting me, Daka Haliti Bati, Quamquanka, Yan Abuduma, Kasia Banyanko, Kwandana Paka, Bashi Quampo.
Honorable Nawan has supported students in the area of education. Every year, not only on election year, but every year he would try to use even his own money to pre-finance or support students who are in tertiary institutions to go and pay for their bills. Whether you are NDC or you're MPP, once you are a leader of NABDAM, you try to identify needy students from in NABDAM so that he extends a hand of assistance to such students to go back to school to be able to carry out their learning.
Ma wana asu on tobot dolte malo yela o bo dole kama dan sere o maana maambe o zan ligide datebe o ingela ma nwang na wana
The people seem excited to be led by Dr. Market Nawani in Parliament. His personality, his charisma, his love for the people's development cannot be described.
There is no one that is on this land who will say that he has not seen what he has done. Because it's not easy to fuel a bus, let me say, for the whole month to go through the NABDAM constituency to bring students to a common point. So in fact, he is doing a marvelous job.
On the area of development in agriculture, the people cannot forget the number of times he supplied them with bags of fertilizers to help them in their farms. At the end of the farming season, the harvest is always massive, ranging from grains to vegetables.
The fertilizer has been helpful to the farmers in the sense that look at the number of yield that they had this year as compared to last year. One some of them, because of they cannot have access to fertilizer. Some of them were able to farm in small size, but this year because of the fertilizer, some of them farm in the large quantity.
He has constantly been providing the farmers with fertilizer to carry out farming activities in the area. I know this one so well. He has done it over and over and again that farmers are all the time grateful to whatever that he's doing.
The fertilizer help a lot of people. Some plant it for tomatoes, pepper. It helped them, a lot of them. So we gain more about tomatoes and pepper because of the fertilizer that Honorable Mark Lawani introduce it for us.
Bulgo go tatitla. Lala song to me. Ka tina enzamba bonna ala zo. Buka bugul kan ka ninga katipu itina hore to pangazala. Lante partners me ka nzia oba. So tomatoes say ka bon attack at my power. Without bama without bulu coming. So ka ninga so to pose also no bulka komanda support la.
Health say is wealth. Dr. Market Nawani is on record to have organized surgical operations for hernia and hydrocele patients free of charge. He has done this both at St. Mark Hospital at Dunkwao and at the Nangode Health Center and Laurie Clinic.
Before he came home to put up any clinic that would be able to take care of the health needs of the people, he would take people who had serious health problems and send them back to Dunkwao for operation. He did that one severally. Those having hernia, he has done that one numerously.
Ama Dr. Nawani internazien yo dia MP oponda pili yi po me da pi ti serbe pa por go kana po dia MP on pen dia MP ba se ba kura mo ba do lor me ken on o do tala bezi halati teba ka ba se ba yi po da ko wa ka ba se ba yi bol ko nu hone
donan da be man zingende ra duru mi ilena nda pe tar panwo nanana manza ma da kitan in operation la ba akake penser pa be ma lam da etel la rante ton tana gim lokon danser be kura kan ko yi ma in operation la kuna dara a dan seconda ne be ni ngene ngala ko platar dan ya po pe pa kan DNA ki na.
A big ward with a theater was also built at the Nangode Health Center, Chiefs Compounds at Zandiriko Warda, Kongo Gondambisi, Kongo Ngorok, with a share of his common fund, an initiative many have lauded the MP.
So the current Nangode clinic, Honorable Nawani came and pre-financed, put up the whole structure so that anybody that is in NAFDAM and has a problem regarding his health would always be sent to that particular clinic.
Because he's come from the health side, he know that health is something that he's doing. And we can all verify that the district, it's not district hospital, but the district health center at Nangode, it was very innovated and it's helping the constituency.
He took it up upon himself during the COVID-19 pandemic period by donating PPEs and furniture to every health facility in the NAFDAM district.
To thank the Honorable MP for this gesture. I'm so happy to see what he has given to us. It has come at the right time.
We are grateful for all the efforts you've done for the people of NAFDAM. Your interest in health is unparalleled, and I know we are grateful for the services you are rendering. I know you will do more, and we pray that you do more for us.
The NDC MP has also taken the security situation of his people so serious. 3 lives were lost at the Pelingo market in 2018 through armed robbery. This compelled the MP to put up a police station to help check crime at the marketplace and its environs. This is also an initiative the people have described as a very good project.
On me politics zian pilo dara no bada tamana na yida tamana ko fa kampaka ligini ha kaba marokin te do ataninga.
The area of security, the MP has done so well. He has initiated and ensured that a proper security post is put in place at Pelungo. The police post at Pelungo alone is to deter the robbers from making an attempt to rob.
He is not just an MP that says, I will do. When he says that he will do something, he goes ahead to do it. He has been able to put up a police station at Pelungo. The people of NAFDAM are so happy because he has all the time been keeping up to whatever promise that he gives to the people of NAFDAM.
The provision of potable drinking water for the people is a legacy he holds in the constituency. Many boreholes have been drilled and many gallons of water flowing in every part of NAFDAM.
Yel water am da boru wana ti da bne mor pompe ko am yiti ngume ka ti ser meng da do be yel la wo ba me zo ni ba po nya yang zi an pe da kenza ngwang te akwam lemna kada do to bul ko am na wani da tana yu DRMP o da zabro yu DRMP ko da na po DRMP amma o da yan tana zi ate pompe me til votum da tam da na ka har ko am te binya ko am hura amma na wani di ka pompe mar ba ne si ma aki ba tuwan o tom to te tam me tam da pa ko am amma na na wa o da tana fo me en ko am te ka te mut.
All the basic schools in the Nabdan district enjoy the free distribution of mathematical instruments, books and furniture every year. He continues to support students financially in their tertiary and vocational education. It is also on record how he organized and paid for extra classes for SHS students, for both gold and green track students, anytime they were home.
MP Dr. Marquette Nawane used his own resources to organize extra classes for one of the tracks. He paid the teachers from his own resources. He uses his own vehicle to go around the entire Nabdam district to convey students from their various homes to the center.
Open King to Antisong, Siba Ghana Nabdam Education Office, then Kaba Asiban Darkington, near Mal, Dusiu, Kabanan King to Antis Carbon Office, Kabanan Zinato, Batuma, Nara Atosim, Kayiti, Yel Alapungs, Wabana, one King to Antimami, Yiti Sukupong Lazu.
He's provided a lot of motivational support to the young ones who are in school, as far as their education is concerned, to encourage them, to urge them, so that they would know that they have a future if they work hard. And that is very motivational, because you don't always get people to come around to talk to young ones and to support them and let them understand that when they work hard, they can also become something.
Some major roads in the Nabdam district were given the needed attention by the medical doctor since assuming office as MP.
People come to stack on this water using motorists and cars. So we, the community members, will always come to assist them cross. But since Nawane came to our aim and did the bridge, since 2017, 18, 19 up to now, the bridge have been helping a lot of people doing their business.
Kotintabu Linki Kuguri, there's a bridge there that also, a number of bridges there that got collapsed. Recently, when they supporting and also encouraging those who were working at the bridges there to carry out construction so that people will be able to commute from wherever that they are to the market at Pelungu and other areas of the region.
Under the leadership of Dr. Marquette Nawane and the NDC, the bar of leadership has been raised. The foundation plans for the transformation of the Nabdam district is being laid. For the first time since the creation of the district, the health status of the people have been improved. And above all, his non-discriminatory leadership style has been admired by all. Dr. Marquette Nawane is seeking the mandate of the people to represent them in Parliament again for another 4 years.
Welcome back. You're still watching Hot News right here on Pan African Television. We are coming to you from our studios in Abelinkwe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. Keep your messages coming in on 026084 6539 0260846539. You can as well connect with us via our WhatsApp, via our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. We'll make a time, or we'll make sure that all your messages are read for you. Still, Dr. Nawane is in the studios with us. Of course, you've watched the video and you've listened to his constituents. There were some very good accounts of him, and he's seeking for re-election. Let's ask him if he's been able to do all this for the good people of Nabdam. Isn't it time for another person to continue from where, he's gotten to? Why is he still seeking for re-election? Doc, that is the question for you. Yeah. You have done a lot, and your constituents, of course, have attested to the fact that, yes, you have helped them in so many ways and all of that. Why still go to Parliament? Why seeking for re-election?
Okay, thank you. Indeed, I've done a lot. If you take just the 4 years that I've been a member of parliament, and considering what I've been able to do, I believe that if this is what others were able to do earlier on, we didn't have such a big problem as we have now. But this is only the shadows of the vision. So what we are seeing now is the shadows of the vision. The vision is bigger than this, and that is why I have to go back to parliament. Indeed, I came to power, I won the elections, I've been working with a government that is not very friendly to me, so far as disbursement of my common fund to me, etc. is concerned. And yet I've been able to do this. So it implies that if the electorate are able to elect President Mahama, who already is inclined to encourage people to put up infrastructure. And I will not only be building some like I did, but I'll be supervising. You know, as a member of parliament, you have to some extent some supervisory role over the district assembly when your government is in power. And even over the ministries, you've got some control. Yes. And if I'm supposed to bring all these qualities into play, I believe that we will be able to achieve much more than what I did within these 4 years. So this is only the shadows of the vision.
If you say government has not been so friendly to you or with you, what do you mean by that?
Oh yes, when you want to carry out a project, sometimes you find them dragging their feet at the assemblies, because the players there always interpret things in twofold. Is he going to do this because he wants to win votes for his party?
Okay.
Is he doing this because he wants to make name for himself?
Okay.
They can see that your proposals are good, the community is behind you, but you don't get things moving. Indeed, if you joke, you abandon everything.
Well, you made a statement on the floor of parliament that was captured in the video we just watched, where you were talking about, is it clinic or some hospitals that were supposed to be built in your constituency. The health minister stated categorically that something was being done on that particular project.
Yeah, he promised that something will be done before.
Or he said something will be done. Something was going to be done instead.
Yeah, something was going to be done. We'll see action before the end of their 4 years.
Okay.
Yes, so we have about 40 days to see that action.
Exactly.
There's nothing absolutely going on. Yes. I mean, this is a government, if you are on the ground and you look at what comes out of their mouth, their promises against the real deeds, you realize that you don't need to even talk about it. You know, they are people who came into power without any vision, or they lie to power. But you cannot lie to stay in power. This is the difference. They lied and came to power, and they thought they could continue to do that, to remain in what? In power.
Okay.
But it can't be like that. You know, when they are talking to people, the propaganda, that machine is on. It appears that they think that all Ghanaians are stupid. But all Ghanaians cannot be stupid. Possibly some, but not all Ghanaians can be stupid all the time. And so we have a government that will come. We are going to planting for food and jobs. Siphon 34% of our oil money into the program. They allocate 270 million Ghana cedis for the program, and the next thing is that you don't see anything. You only see pickups labeled here and there. You know, apart from that, you don't see anything. You know, and the 270 million goes off like that. This is the type of government that we have. You know, any program, they say they are collapsing the banks. Conservative estimates suggest that around 10 million could have collapsed these banks, could have solved the problems associated with the banks. 10 billion Ghana cedis could have done that. Now what do we see? Figures such as 21 billion is being quoted for the collapse of the banks. And you realize that this is a government that thinks that so far as they can tell lies, they can continue to remain in power. And that is not going to work. Even the MPP people in parliament, even though they are not asking questions, obviously on their faces, you can sometimes see that they don't also understand what is happening in their own government.
Now, according to you, government has not been friendly with you when it comes to, disbursement of the common fund, and also how developmental projects are actually spread across all constituencies in this country. How were you able to carry out all those projects that were shown in the video?
Well, whatever I could get hold of it, I tried to use it like that. You know, if you look at that building, that was my first project, the clinic, that nice clinic at Nangodi. When I went there and I saw that they had one room where they could detain patients. So if you were a male and a female, you came around the same time, you all lie in the same room. I said, no, it cannot be like that. So when I started as early as 2017, late 2017, trying to put up, and I believe that it was somewhere in the middle of 2018 that finally I was able to get my way through. And that is 6 months gap. That is what I'm talking about. When obviously the problem has been defined, nobody's against it, and yet you cannot move. And no, you cannot move because the powers that be want to receive instructions from above. Yes. The same thing with the police station. When I had indicated that I was going to build a police station, even with that, the assembly understood me because 2 people had been killed, broad daylight, 11 o'clock at the market. Some Fulani herdsmen came and killed 2 people. Yes, they murdered 2 people and ran away. They've never been arrested. So when this idea of me putting out this project came, the assembly was this thing. The police people were interested. And yet we had the MPP youth sponsored by their parliamentary candidate holding a press conference and saying that they would never need to see that burden come to life. And I also told them that that is a big lie. Yes, I was never going to change my mind so far as the project is concerned. And I persevered. They said that at one time they said that Bawumia says that nobody should build a police station. I said no. I'm in Parliament. I've never heard of such a policy. In any way, policy is not supposed to emanate from Bawumia. Yes. So I went to the minister, Ambrose Derry. Yes, went and told, look, this is what I want to build a police station in my constituency, and this is what the people of the ground are telling me. And he said that no, that cannot be true. He himself is trying to build a police station in his constituency. The only problem is the funding. But he has got 2 police stations to build. So if I've got the funding, I should only make sure that I get the approved, plan. They now have a modern way of building police stations.
I'll ask my producer to look for the police station and then flash it while the discussion is ongoing. We can go ahead.
Very good. The approved plan now is there, and I should try and then get that one instead of using any other plan. Yes.
what specific thing has government done in your constituency since they've been that hostile to you? They've not been so friendly to some of you, the minority MPs, according to you. Because looking at things you've done, you've built a police station, you've built wards, you are offering support to students in the constituency, free health screening with surgeries and all of that. What specific thing has government done for you in your constituency?
Let me. When he came there, he commissioned an uncompleted warehouse. Yes, I think the warehouse is what he commissioned.
Okay.
Yes. Apart from that, we have got uncompleted toilets built by Howard Kunson, the special initiatives.
You're very well.
Yeah, the Northern Development Authority. Yes. These toilets I've seen, they are all uncompleted. In fact, they've not completed anything that for the past 4 years they've probably started. The dam, they get dry during the dry season and get wet during the wet season. So what type of dams do we have? The duck house, I mean. And so, indeed, when Bawumia was listing his listing, he listed my project at Nangodi.
And what project is that?
That project is the ward with a theater attached at Nangodi. That is currently also being used as the maternity at the Nangodi clinic. Yes, but we listed it, and it was Honorable Appiah who came out to agree that yes, it was a mistake and apologize for it. But this is what the extent to which this government has gone that low. I must say that the government, in terms of infrastructure in Nabdam, have not performed well at all. They have not done anything that is worth mentioning.
You mean within the health sector?
Within the health sector and practically any other sector. Yes. No.
Now let's look at though your projects cut across all sectors and all of that, because we saw something on education, roads, hospitals, and all of that. But it looked as if your focus has been on health. Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, possibly because I've been a primary healthcare provider for the past 27 years.
Okay.
Indeed, I'll say that in the NDC, if you want to talk of the elected representatives of the people, the most experienced health professional now with the NDC in Parliament. And so automatically when I see certain things, I can't just stand it. For example, I went to a place called Wunambisi, where the assembly had supervised them to build a mud building to be used as a health post. I said no, but in this 20th century, we should be forward looking. What is the problem that makes us to be building mud houses to be used as a health post? Why should it be like that? And therefore, I made the effort to tell them that no, I'll replace this mud building with a block one, and then from there we'll know what to do. And I think I started it about 4 months or 5 months ago, and practically I'm at the finishing end of it. And I believe that we'll cut the sword and it will be handed over to the good people of Kondabori and Wunambisi to use the building as a health post for health purposes, and not that mad house that the assembly was supervising them to build. We should, in fact, now we should have standards. We should have standards. Government money, we should have standards. We shouldn't. That's why Bahumia was listing his so-called the tracker and was listing the projects. I was surprised he was listing mad bungalows or mad buildings that were built by the community for certain teachers as part of the MPP achievements. And he wanted to blame the people. I said, why? It is stated that this is a madhouse, and you have listed it, and you want to blame those who brought the report. Meaning you see the word mad by it. If you are listing it, you should, of course, get back to the people and say, is it really a madhouse or it is not? And you list it as a madhouse, and now you want to blame the players on the ground. So I think that this government came, they had no plan. They had no plan. They just came with the aim of probably looting and sharing or doing some other thing, but they had no plan. Actually, they have no plan.
Now let's look at your party's health policies. Since you are I mean, a medical doctor, a health practitioner, and you are on a committee of health in Parliament and all of that. Do you think that, for instance, free primary health care is doable?
For sure. Before before I answer your question, I would like you to understand, that the NDC, as a social democratic party, fully understand what we need to do to make sure that our people enjoy good health. Right from the beginning, when the National Health Insurance Scheme started, yes, there were certain skirmishes between our party people and those in power. And that is because the way it was being implemented, it was such that in the long run, our social democratic principles will be compromised. For example, it was to be a district-wide mutual health insurance scheme. And it was envisaged that the rich districts eventually will be able to maintain their own, whilst the poor districts will find it difficult to operate, because there was supposed to be a premium to be paid by every individual.
Exactly.
Such that if in this district the people are poor and they are unable to pay the premium, we will have a situation where eventually their district will come to a halt. It is within this context that the NDC changed into a national health insurance scheme, because it came to a time that even if you're holding a district, you are in Accra here, and one district's own, you hold a card belongs from a different district, and you entered into another district, you are refused treatment. And that will have happened all over the country. And so there was the need for us to review it and make it a national health insurance scheme where you could access treatment anywhere, anyhow, with the same card. And the national health insurance scheme will pay for it. This is an achievement that we thought that, yes, is going to bring what? Some form of equity. But this equity still persisted even up to today. Now let's look at the current system. The current system is saying that those who contribute to have the Social Security and National Insurance Trust do not pay premium. It is said that their premium is taken from the bulk of money which they pay. Isn't it?
Very well.
Yeah. But and those who don't pay, those who pay the premium are those who don't contribute to the National Health Insurance Scheme. And who are those people who don't pay to the National Health Insurance Scheme? They are the poor, the needy, the students, the unemployed or those who are not well employed, because some employees are refusing to pay, even though it's against the law. We know that some employers are refusing to pay their employees their contribution. The Kayoye, there are those who cannot contribute to what? To the SNIT, cannot do SNIT contributions. And they are supposed to go and be paying premium. These are the disadvantages. So it is obvious that as a social democratic party, we couldn't have withstood this type of trend for a long period. And so the positive voices headed by President Mahama himself was able to convince everybody that no, let us go for something that will bring equity.
And that's the free primary health care?
And that's the free primary health care.
Okay.
Equity means that, look, it is true that due to certain reasons you cannot contribute to SNIT, but you don't have to pay any premium. You don't have to pay anything to access what we call the primary health care.
Okay.
The primary health care. Insurance will continue to be there, but for secondary and tertiary, etc. They will continue to be there, and we'll all see how we can fund it. Remember that in Ghana here, majority of us, about more than 90% of us, our health needs are solved at the level of the district health facilities.
Very well.
When I say district health facilities, I'm meaning the health posts, the chief compounds, the district health hospitals, no, the polyclinics, all these small facilities, adding up to the district hospital. About 90% of our problems are solved at that level. I must let you know that there are a lot of people who don't need to go to the secondary facilities. When I say secondary facilities, I mean the regional hospitals, and then the teaching hospitals, because they go there with complaints which they should have gone to the primary health facilities. If we bring all this chunk along and bring them back to where they belong to, I wouldn't be surprised to say that what President Mahama is saying that is this: look, 90% or more of you, when you go to hospitals, you'll be taken care free. And we should remember that what President Mahama is saying is this amount of money which was contributed by this unfortunate group of people, the non-SNIT contributors, which amounted to about 100 million every year, is to be given back to them. In 4 years, President Mahama is saying that he's going to give back to them 400 million Ghana cedis. Don't give it to government. Keep it for your upkeep. Keep it for other uses. But the government is going to pick your health bill. And it is very, very possible. In 2019...
Is this also going to cover those who will be going to the private hospitals?
Oh, yes. We are all going to still be hooked to the National Health Insurance Scheme. That's where the payment will come from. But we are going to use part of the oil revenue to assist the National Health Insurance Scheme. Do you get me? Yes. And they'll say that it is not possible. In 2019, the NPP government spent only 1.2% of it oil revenue on health.
How much do you intend to spend on this policy?
I believe that anywhere between 5 and 10% will be very high enough.
Now the argument is that
to ensure that we are able to move forward.
Now the argument is that under the late President Mills,
yes,
the National Democratic Congress promised,
yes,
that we were going to make the health insurance a one-time premium.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that did not see the day of light and all of that. And people are of the view that, well, you once promised one-time premium for health insurance. You are unable to do it.
Yes.
Why should Ghanaians trust the National Democratic Congress of giving them free healthcare delivery?
And that one was because we once again came back to our very principles, the social democratic principles. We realized that this one-time premium, who were going to benefit from it? The argument continued from day one when they said it, till even after we had won elections. Who were going to benefit from it? It's the bourgeois intellectuals, but not the proletariats.
Okay.
Not the working class. If you ask that people should pay one-time premium, Dr. Nawani, will come, and if it is 20,000 Ghana cedis, I'll just remove the 20,000 Ghana cedis and put it down. Take my 20,000 Ghana cedis. Take care of me until I die. Is that not it?
Exactly.
What about the ordinary man that we NDC claim that we represent? And that is why, the good forces in the NDC rather steered the party off this idea of the one-time premium, which was to benefit the bourgeoisie and then the bourgeois intellectuals. It was not supposed to favor the ordinary Ghanaian, the farmer, the working class, the proletariats. This measure was not supposed to, they were not supposed to benefit from it. And that is why we steered away from also the district mutual health insurance scheme, which will benefit rich districts against poor ones, and rather brought on what we call the national health insurance scheme, which was supposed to take care of every district irrespective of its resources. Yes. So this one is different. This particular decision is still going to favor the working class.
How sustainable is this policy, especially funding it from our oil revenue?
Quite sustainable.
Quite sustainable.
Quite sustainable, because, like I told you earlier, what it means is that the IGF of about 100 million, which is going back to the people, will have to be replaced with revenue from somewhere. And currently, even before we come to power, we have identified that 1.2% amount that is spent on health from the oil revenue is too scanty. It does not speak well of a country that is a developing country.
Okay.
Yes. And rather, the money is being siphoned out through programs such as Planting for Food and Jobs, etc., with about 34% of it going into that area, or 30% of it going into that area. Planting for Food and Jobs, and you don't see anything that is coming out of the place. Why don't we use part of this revenue, which is about 270? Why don't we use part of this revenue to offset this premium that is collected from these poor people? And you know the problem, when you collect these things from them, they don't go to renew their this thing when the date expires. Their card, they don't go to renew. You might think 20 cedis is nothing. Why don't you go to renew? 30 Ghana is nothing. Why don't you go? But actually, it is something. And we, even MPs, there were times that we had to pay for them. So it is something. And so at any particular time, we have about 5 million Ghanaians who have got a card but cannot renew.
Okay.
Or you said they have forgotten to renew, but it's not like that. They remember, they don't have the money, they postpone it until the day they fall sick, they get to the hospital, and then they can't produce their card. So we've got 5 million, a phenomenon that in insurance we call churning. You know, 5 million Ghanaians are in that phenomenon where their card will die and they will not even have money to what? Renew. So let us be candid about it. Let us make sure that, you see, if we want our people to enjoy good health, we must agree to spend something. It must be tax financed. And that is what President Mahama is saying. That it's not, you see, whenever something is said to be free, people think that it is, in quotes, it's free, but it is supposed to be tax financed. And you've got to find the money somewhere else. Free SHS. Free SHS is oil money.
Okay.
It is taken from the oil. 44% of our 2018 revenue was used to finance free SHS. So that doesn't mean that it is free, but that they've been able to use the oil money to fund it, and that is why we term it free.
Okay.
Yes. So we are hoping that we should be able to ensure that the free primary health care is implemented. And in Ghana here, if such a policy is implemented, it will be very, very good for everybody, because the scope of our primary health care listing is very, very wide. You fancy, in our district hospitals, do you know that a lot of operations are done at that level that is supposed to have been a specialist operation? And if these operations are done over there at our district hospitals, and you don't have to pay for it, do you see the scope? Or you don't get what I'm trying to say? Do you get what I'm trying to say? A lot of operations are done at the district hospitals that actually belong to the specialist. But majority of the doctors have learned how to do a good number of operations at that level. And so the scope of our primary health care is going to be very, very big. And so we will enjoy a very big, free health care. Because the doctors at the district hospitals, majority of them, have learned abdominal surgery. And sometimes might not refer to the secondary or tertiary facilities.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go to gynecology, about a good number, 60-70% of the doctors can do a lot of the gynecological operations. Up to total abdominal hysterectomy. They're able to do it. And if all these things will be done and will be considered as part of primary health care, then we are in for a very good business for a lot of people. And I believe that as a government, we when we come to power, we need to sit down and think through.
Very well.
Yes, and get our scope clear. I believe that our scope will be very comprehensive.
Okay.
And we should be able to deliver what we want to do. Yes, and then get the trust of the good people of Ghana.
All right, let me bring some of the viewers in. This one says, good evening, Pan-African TV, and to my revered Honorable MP, Dr. Mark Kurt Nawani. You are truly a savior to the people of Nabdam, taking into consideration the level of development chalked so far just within 4 years. You have not only concentrated on only health, but also sanitation, education, infrastructure, women entrepreneurial skills, building, and many more. God bless you, sir. James Stenga, Nabdam constituency. Thank you so much, James, for your message. Good evening to you and your guest, Honorable Dr. Nawani. Honorable Dr. Nawani is a God-sent man to us in Nabdam. We shall continue to support him for victory. Too sure for Dr. and JM. Tobik Francis. Thank you so much, Francis, for your message. Justice, these two parties are seeking for a second term, and we will know that second means 2. So by all means, the winner will be the party which picked number 2. Trinity inside Axim. Trinity, thank you so much for your message. Wolanyo in Akwetiya says President Akufo-Addo has no excuse but to win this election hands down without considering his position on the ballot paper, but based on his performance. Position on the ballot doesn't matter per the 2016 elections and 2000 elections. For example, President Dankwa Akufo-Addo was number 5 in 2016, yet he won. President Akufo-Addo was last on the ballot in 2000, yet he won. President Kufuor, sorry. MPP ought to win the election on hard work than luck. All right, thank you so much for your message. This one says, Doctor, you have made my day well. God bless you. From Francis Baba. Francis, thank you so much for your message. This one says, divine greetings to you. I am Norbert Teno from Nungwa. Looking at the various ways Honorable Agnes Namomolati, an NDC parliamentary candidate for Nungwa Krowa constituency, has been helping the people during and after COVID-19 pandemic difficult times, I am praying to God to protect her life, health, movement, and wisdom to enable her excel in all her endeavors for the victory come December 7. Thank you so much for your message. This one says, good evening, Justice. Tell Honorable MP Dr. Market Nawani that he is a God sent and it's only God that will pay him. I saw him carrying wheelbarrow. Never seen it before from many MPs. I invite people from NAPDAM to vote him massively to end his project that he started, because something is worrying me about our politicians. If someone starts a project and loses power, the project will be abandoned. It is so because we can't develop our mother Ghana if we don't change that behavior. According to me, if you come to power, make sure you complete all the abandoned projects started by the previous government before you start with your own. It goes on and on and on and on. But you are saying that God bless you, Dr. Market Nawani. Keep it up. And you are urging the people of Nabdan to vote for him massively in the upcoming election. Thank you so much for your message. This one is from Rauf in Tamale North. Good evening to you, Dr. Mark Ketnawan. Inshallah, NDC is coming back again and again. Please inform the MPP that they can do whatever they want, but they can't stop NDC from coming back to save Mother Ghana from this incompetent government. Inshallah, history will make it once again on the 7th of December 2020. Go for JM, and he's at number 2. Thank you so much for your message. Doctor, you do all. Your people will give you another term to give them more development. God bless you, Dr. Market. That one is Sarah from Dukwa on Offin. Sarah, thank you so much for your message. This one says, I'm Joseph from Wenchi Bono. The MP has done much for his people and deserves another term. I hope my slaves, the Nabdan people, will vote massively for Dr. Nawani and the visionary JDM. Thank you so much for your message. This one says, good evening, Justice. In fact, Doctor is truly a leader. I wish all our parliamentarians were development-oriented like Dr. Market Nawani. Thank you so much for your message. This one says, I congratulate Doctor for the good job done. May Allah bless him. Victory ahead of him. Yakubu in Tamale sent in that one. I have some few, a lot of messages anyway, but let me read some few. The MPP should not be worried about the postponement of the NDC manifesto date on December 7, September 2020. We will surprise them like in the selection of our running mate. But let me remind them that the Northeast Regional Minister, that coming December 7, Honorable Abed Bandim will take over the seat of Bunkrungu constituency by Shamsu Bawa in Bunkrugu. Shamsu, thank you so much for your message. NDC, JM, and Dr. Market Nawani, we appreciate you. I hope all Nabdan people vote him and JM, irrespective of party, for development from Philip. Philip, thank you so much for your message. Honorable Dr. Market Nawani is a savior to Nabdam. Nabdam is proud of you for your selfless love and dedication to transform the district. May God bless you for your generous and kind heart. From John Paul Azuma, Nabdan, NDC Director of Elections. Thank you so much for your message. Your people are watching massively. I'm receiving a lot of messages from them. Good evening. Please tell Dr. Market Nawani to help his people because we are suffering from dust. After voting you, we will not see him again. But he has already done a lot of things that we showed to the people of Ghana. Good evening, Justice. Can you always push our politicians to speak on having a national policy instead of running the country on their political ideas? Thank you. That is something we are really pushing for, and we'll continue to push that. Joseph, thank you so much for your message. This one says, good evening, Justice. Dr. Nawani is indeed a God-sent angel. He is not the type of MPs who are seeking the mandate to get money to solve their problems like some did very few years ago. NAPDAM will reward you with success through the ballot box. David Dong from NAPDAM. David, thank you so much for your message. In fact, nobody, and I say nobody, can challenge God. But Mansari tried his possible best to choose the number 4 for the MPP for their campaign messages. But God, so good, their evil plans are being exposed. You saw how their representatives struggled to pick up the paper. Bosman secretly marked the number 4 paper for the MPP representative, but it was taken away by someone before he got there. So he was going through all the papers. From James K. Saba, James, you don't have any evidence prior to that. And I think that we have to shun away from some of those comments that we cannot substantiate. This is the kind of man we want in Ghana. Wisdom from Chinderi Inoti. God bless Dr. Mark for his detailed information. Surely GM will come like Kakai from Enson Joseph, Bechim, and greetings to Akoto Rose inside Bechim. Thank you so much. Honorable MP, you have won already from Wolong Isaac. Wolong, thank you so much for your message. Let me come back to Honorable for us to be wrapping up on the show, actually. Yeah. Honorable, I think that on your health policy, let's wrap up. Yeah. Looking at what the New Patriotic Party is promising to do in their second term, if Ghanaians give them the nod, and looking at what you are promising, do you think that with the NDC's promises, we may have a robust health sector where all challenges and problems and all of that are solved?
Well, to say that all challenges will be solved looks quite utopian. Yes. But the issue is this. The health policy of the NDC is in 3 directions. Okay. Or a 3-pronged movement. Okay. One is in the area of infrastructure. The second one, developing the human resource. Okay. And the last one is healthcare financing. And if you look at the area of infrastructure, we have a lot of uncompleted projects that this government, instead of just completing it and taking credit for it, okay. If not for COVID, they wouldn't even have acknowledged that they exist. Okay. And that they can be used. It's now when COVID made them to be admitted, then they started running to Mahama projects to go and lie down there and rest. Okay. So we have a lot of projects that still remain uncompleted. And at the same time, we have a lot of districts that do not have district hospitals. And that is where I expect that we should use ingenuity to ensure that we implement them. We might have to use some mix of financing. Some mix of financing. Some of them we've got to go for loans. Okay. Others, we have to make sure that we look internally. And not only internal loans, but internal architecture, internal masons, etc. Say that within a short time, we can roll out a lot of health projects. Because now that we don't have a district hospital. Okay. I mean, why shouldn't we have? We are also part of the nation. And there are so many of such districts. I know Akufo-Addo said that he was going to start them before the end of the year.
Exactly.
Yes. And he listed 88 of them or so.
Exactly.
Yes. But I'm here to see what has become of that one. Ghanaians should not buy into these lies.
Okay.
You know, we cannot rule this country based on lies. I'm hoping that when the NDC come, we will listen to each other, and then we will be able to know that no.
All right.
These ones, let's go for the loans. These ones, let's see whether we can put up structures that are decent.
Okay.
And can act as district hospitals. I believe that in that way we will be able to meet our promises. Then comes the human resource.
Okay.
This government, do you know that until September this year, they have not employed any nurse from 2017 up to date. They have not employed any nurse. Only September this year that they employed those who completed 2017. Those who completed 2016 and had their financial clearance in December, that December 2016, and NDC was criticized for it.
Yeah.
They said that, why are you going out and you're giving out financial clearance? Is it because you are going out? They were the only people who were employed. But 2017 they were not employed, 2018 they were not employed, 2019 and 2020 who have just finished are also not employed. It's only September this year that 2017 people were employed. And all these people were sitting down and just lies. Absolute lie. You can go and demonstrate and do anything you want.
Okay.
They have the machinery. They will corner you. They will make sure that their lies prevail. And so we are saying that this 2016 batch that was not employed was an exception. We are going to make sure that we don't pile up these nurses to be sitting down in the house when they are needed at work.
Okay.
It will not happen again. We are going to ensure that their postgraduate programs, etc., are paid for.
Okay.
We are going to make sure that our human development, in terms of the health sector, improves to that extent that Ghana should be comparable with any other country.
Very well.
In this world.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And with healthcare financing, we are going to use the mix.
Okay.
Yes. The oil revenue, whatever those other things that already exist will continue to exist. We are going to add some to it.
Okay.
And we are going to ensure that we prioritize. That is the good word. We prioritize the health of the people. And we should remember that the health of the people is the wealth of the people.
Very well. All right. Thank you so much, Honorable. Our time has already passed. But your final words, what do you have for the people of NAPDAM?
My good people of NAPDAM, let me say it in my language.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mbane manam ne mbienam na namza wabe benap. Ay dahra pa porbe. Na kan mam kenan yang zandi teng la atuma. President Mahama datome yadanya so dabi kala asim ya penya men kai zang namla zantu ka zang ubi Dr. Nawana zampa hozu katbe na insiem tiati tengla ka mpo yaza wabe zo.
All right, thank you so much,
Thank
Honorable,
you
for coming. We are so grateful. Well, you've watched the video for yourselves, and you've seen what he has done. One good term deserves another. And so, the people of NAPDAM, I believe that all you are looking for is a member of parliament who is always with you, who is always attending to your plight. And if you have one, you have to hold him in high esteem. And so, with what he has done, you have no other option than to make sure that you send him back to Parliament to continue to do more for NAPDAM, to be a better place for all of us, to live. This is our time we'll last on the program. My name is Justice Appiah. Make a time with us same time tomorrow. Goodbye.